Get you out of my mind. It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the long-awaited healthy snack recipe video that I've been talking about for a little while now. So here it is. I hope you enjoy. I'm showing you 4 healthy snack recipes today. They're all pretty easy, very healthy, and hopefully you will enjoy them like I do. Also, if you do choose to make these, send me some photos, tag me in anything, let me know how you like them, if you customize them. I'd love to see how you guys are making these recipes at home. They're perfect for snacking in isolation. I know that we're all doing it because we're stuck inside most of the day right next to the fridge. So hopefully this will help you out if you're needing some healthy options. My personal favorite are the protein balls. Also, one of the recipes was a little bit of a fail, but you'll see as I get into the video. So hopefully when you recreate it, it won't be a bit of a fail. Anywho, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below to my channel for more content like this. And other than that, let's get on into the recipes. Okay, so the first recipe is this granola cluster / bar recipe. The reason I say that is because it was kind of a fail. You'll see what I mean, but it can be either granola bars or granola clusters depending on how you make it. Okay, so first we're going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. And we're going to start with the dry ingredient. So I'm adding 2 cups of rolled oats into the bowl along with a pinch of salt. So for nuts and seeds, you can add whatever you have on hand, whatever you prefer. I had some pumpkin seeds, so I'm adding a 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds. I also had some pecans, so I'm adding a 1/4 cup of those chopped up. And then I like to add almonds as well, but I only had flaked almonds, not whole almonds. So because they're quite thin, I added a 1/2 cup of these. I also love coconut, so I'm adding a 1/2 cup of shredded coconut. And then I like to also add dried fruit to my granola just because it adds a bit of sweetness and texture. So personally, I think cranberries are the best, but I had run out through all the recipe testing. So instead I'm using chopped up dates. This was roughly 6 dates chopped up. Then to give it a bit of flavor as well, I love cinnamon, so I'm adding 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And then I'm just using a spoon to mix all of the dry ingredients together to make sure everything is nicely combined. Then we're just going to set that aside and move on to the wet ingredients. So for the wet ingredients, I'm melting a 1/4 cup of coconut oil down in a heat-proof bowl. Then I'm adding a liquid sweetener of choice, so you can use whatever you feel like. I chose to use honey and maple syrup, so you could use rice malt syrup, agave syrup, or anything that you have. And also adding in 1 teaspoon of vanilla into the mix and then mixing that all up before mixing the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. Now to make this mixture cluster more together, I'm using 1/2 cup of almond meal. This will act as sort of like a binding agent, like a flour for everything to stick to. Also, if you aren't vegan and you do eat eggs, adding 1 egg white into the mixture as well also can help bind and stick everything together. Just make sure that you do taste the mixture and you're happy with the flavors before you add in the egg white, because once you add that in, you won't be able to taste it. And then this is where I went wrong, but hopefully you won't do the same. So we need to put all this into a baking tray now to go in the oven. I used way too small of a baking tray, so definitely get a long thin sheet pan. And what we're going to do is just put the mixture in there and press everything down firmly so it's nice and packed. Using a spatula works really well for that as well, just to make sure everything is nice and compact. If you want everything to get really crispy and clustery, definitely put it on a thin sheet so that everything can cook through fully. Whereas if you do put it in a deeper dish like that I did, it will stay more soft on the inside like a muesli bar. And then once you're happy with how everything is in the pan, we're just going to pop that in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, just dependent on how crispy you want it. And obviously what sort of sheet or pan that you've decided to use will determine how long or how little it needs in the oven. Just get it out when you think it's ready. Keep in mind also it will crisp up once it cools out of the oven. I ended up taking half of my muesli bar mix out and putting it on a thinner sheet pan, putting it back in the oven and making it into granola. They weren't clusters so much because they'd already dried out too much to stick back together. So that was a fail on my behalf, but definitely if you use the right sheet pan, you won't have that issue. And there we have the granola muesli bar cluster option for you. This is super convenient to have as a snack in your house just to munch on by itself, or you could pair it with some yogurt and berries. That would be really lovely as well. Super convenient and healthy.
Walking downtown and I'm okay. He's got it all figured out, it's what they all say, yeah. Everyone's looking at me thinking that I'm different. Everyone's looking at me thinking that I'm living, but I don't really care what they all say. It's easier said than done. That guy to live through, but it all comes down.
Okay, so to make these peanut butter cookies, it's super simple, really minimal ingredient, really quick and easy. So all we'll need is 1 cup of peanut butter, any type that you prefer. This is just what I had on hand. Then I added about 1/3 cup of maple syrup, just what I had left. But I would recommend adding probably 1/2 cup of sweetener, just because these didn't turn out overly sweet. If I was to remake this recipe, I would definitely use 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. I think that would work really well in these cookies. Then we're just going to crack 1 egg into the mix and mix it all up together. Then I added about 1/2 cup of almond meal to make it a bit more into a cookie texture. So mixing that all up together. Then I've got a greased baking sheet. I've just greased this with a bit of coconut oil. I'm going to portion out the cookies into about golf ball size cookie balls and roll those up into a ball and place those on the sheet. Once I've rolled all of the cookie dough up, I'm going to use a fork to gently press them down into cookie shapes. And that's pretty much it. That's how you make these cookies. They're so quick and easy. Then we're just going to pop them in the oven for roughly 10 to 15 minutes, just until they're golden brown, and then take them out and enjoy. As you can see, I left mine in a little bit too long. They were slightly too brown on the edges, but that's okay. And like I said, definitely add a bit more sweetener to this than what I did. So probably 1/2 cup of coconut sugar would be amazing. And yeah, super healthy, super simple, super minimal ingredient, and really, really quick if you just want to whip something up for a healthy, delicious snack. Okay, so this next recipe is one of my personal favorites that I've been making for a while now. When I want to up my banana almond butter snack game, this is what I make. So it's kind of just taking it to the next level with a bit of chocolate, and yeah. So first we're going to take 1 banana. You can repeat this with more if you want, but I'm just using 1 for the sake of the video. So we're chopping those up into coins. Then what we're going to do is spoon a desired amount of almond butter onto each coin and setting them on a plate. You could also use peanut butter or any other nut butter that you prefer. Almond butter is my personal favorite, so I'm going with that one today. Then we're just going to pop those into the freezer for about 5 minutes. You could also put them in the fridge or just put the chocolate straight on top. So while they're freezing, we're just going to melt dark chocolate chips in a microwave safe bowl. Once the banana coin and the almond butter on top is a bit set, we can take those out of the freezer, drizzle or cover with dark chocolate, and then we can pop those back in the fridge or the freezer if you want to eat them frozen. They are nice as frozen treats. Super good to just snack on because they're super small and convenient, nice and sweet. You get that chocolate, the almond butter, the banana, all together. It's like this nice sweet little bite that is absolutely amazing. Yeah, there you have it, Banana Bliss chocolate almond butter bites. Okay, so I saved one of the best recipes for last, I think, in my personal opinion. These are Lamington protein balls. Came up with the recipe recently and I'm obsessed, so definitely make these if you want something that tastes just like a Lamington but is healthy and really, really good for you. So we're going to start by just putting everything in a bowl. That's pretty much all we do. So I'm adding in 1 cup of almond meal along with a 1/2 cup of desiccated coconut. Desiccated works best in this mix so it's not too chunky and textural. Then I'm adding in 2 scoops of this Body Science vanilla whey protein. And then adding in a 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. And then for the liquid, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of coconut cream or coconut milk. You can use either, I've used either in this recipe. Just make sure you're getting the nice thick white part at the top of the can. You don't want all the liquidy, watery stuff on the bottom. And then also adding 1 tablespoon of coconut oil that I've just melted down. And then we're going to just mix all of that up together. You're going to need to get your hands in there as well to kind of mash everything up and combine it all. Now, depending on your mixture, you might want it to be a bit more dry, it might turn out too wet. So if it does, just add a bit more almond meal to get the desired texture that you want. But hopefully you shouldn't need to do that. It should be like a cakey sort of texture, but it's totally up to your preference, so just do what works for you. Okay, so once we've got that, we're going to portion them out into the desired size that you want. I typically go for about golf ball sizes, so just portion those out and roll them up into balls. If you have a boyfriend, get him to help you roll them because you're taking too long filming this video and you needed to speed it up as well. Now, with some melted dark chocolate again, I use roughly 1/2 cup, and also with 1/2 cup of desiccated coconut in a bowl. We're just going to dip each protein ball into the chocolate and then put it into the coconut and cover it in coconut and set aside to give it a Lamington coating. This step is totally optional as well. It is just that extra little bit that will make it even better, but they do taste amazing on their own, and I've definitely just made them without the coconut and chocolate covering and they're still just as good. But yeah, there we have it. Lamington protein balls, they are so good. I've been making a batch every week and pretty much eating one every day, if not 2. They taste just like a Lamington. The inside to me tastes just like a Lamington sponge. So delicious and such a good alternative to a staple sweet in the Australian diet. So definitely recommend making these if you're going to make any of the full recipes. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed those recipes, and if you do recreate them, let me know. Send photos to me, tag me in photos, message me. I'd love to know how you used them, how you recreated them, how you customized them, if you liked them. Anything like that would be amazing. If you want more recipe videos, give this video a thumbs up so I know that you are keen for more, and even comment below or send me a message suggesting what recipe video you want next. It could be healthy breakfast, healthy desserts, meal prep, anything like that. So just let me know what you'd like to see next. If you want more recipes and food content, I post on my Instagram quite frequently, so that's just @LibertyBunny. Follow me on there for more daily content about my life if you're interested. And yeah, I'll probably film another recipe video soon if you guys enjoyed this one. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.